Hey friends, hey mind wanderers. Sorry that I am late for this fantastic IGTV live tonight. My Wi-Fi connection, I needed to restart it and now it's working. My name is Sam Led. I am a life strategist and trauma coach based out of Santa Barbara, California. Hey Basilja and Diakis, it's a pleasure to be here for all of you. Hey Deborah, pleasure to be here for all of you, you in the nosebleed seats on this Sunday evening here in beautiful Southern California. Tonight, I want to talk to you about, and we can get into a deep dive together, talk about, are you frustrated? That's a good thing. If you're frustrated and you're not going down that wrong trajectory into that cesspool of self-destruction or self-sabotage, then you're in good shape, despite your circumstances, despite where you are, despite who you are. Being frustrated is a good thing. And all of us as human beings, we get frustrated, right? And they frustrated people, we get a bad rap. I have a PhD in frustration. But I want to talk to you today about some of the benefits and some of the takeaways from being in that space of frustration when you feel the world's on top of you, when you're frustrated with your coworker, or you're frustrated with your spouse, or where your career is going, or your finances, or your health. Frustration gets a bad rap because we're looking at frustration the wrong way. So, congratulations. See, there you go. What are you getting your degree in? Congratulations. Hey, David. What are you getting your graduate degree in? Well, we'll wait till she responds, but congratulations. That's terrific. So frustration, in its essence, is our best friend and not our worst enemy. It's all how you look at your frustration. And I was thinking about my own story, about the breakup of my marriage, about the legal situation that unfortunately I had to deal with about 15 years ago. That led to a lot of frustration, led to a lot of chaos in my life. Oh, I'm stoked for you. Rock on. Public affairs, cool. So you're going to be, you can be very busy, Basilja. You're going to be a very busy person over the next couple of years. Congratulations. That is terrific. So when you get into graduate school, the frustrations of the bureaucracy in graduate school. But I want to talk about how you can use your own frustrations. And Basilja is a great example of how she used her frustrations around her in her life to apply to grad school. Perfect example of being frustrated with your current situation or your current stage in life. And it's not a bad thing to be frustrated with your life. It's if you're taking steps to do something. You'll be frustrated with the sleep deprivation, but it's worth it at the end, the sacrifice. Congratulations, that is so terrific. I wish you all the luck, and I hope that you can use this IGTV Live as a jumping off point for when you are frustrated. So, looking back at my own frustrations, and we all have them, and it's a daily thing. When my marriage broke up, which is the most recent frustration, and dealing with grief, and dealing with heartache, and dealing with the loss, and dealing with the financial consequences, and everything that the whole package of divorce, right? I was just frustrated with my life because I loved being in love. I loved having a partner. I loved being in a partnership. And when that ended, I was really frustrated. I felt like the world was coming on top of me. But then I looked at it from a different angle. And instead of, a lot of us, we get depressed, we get anxious, and we kind of go down that rabbit hole of anxiety or depression, of feeling out of control, we end up self-destructing, or we need to take a big break. The other route is looking at frustration as a problem-solving activity. And so after doing some deep soul searching and continuing my client work, and thankfully I've had that as a wonderful as a wonderful gift, even after being through a difficult separation and breakup and an eventual divorce. I came across this article after about 4 or 5 months ago in the New York Times. And there's all this research that's been done on frustrated people. Frustrated people are the best problem solvers. These are frustrated people that have the self-awareness and the insight to use that angst, to use that inner impatience and not being happy with their current situation to move forward. And big companies like Apple, and this is in the article, you can actually look it up, it's a New York Times article, I think it's either New York Times Magazine or actually the New York Times, so you can find it online, and where they studied levels of frustration in people. And what they found was frustrated people that use it wisely, that use it as a jumping off point for the next step in their life, are the best problem solvers. And companies like Apple and Google and these big blue chip companies in the tech industry are looking for tech people that are frustrated with their current situation. That even have been let go from their current tech jobs or were fired for whatever reason because of pent-up frustration. And they actually are being hired by these big companies because CEOs like, may he rest in peace, the former CEO of Apple, Steve Jobs, would hire people on his team that were frustrated, that were in previous jobs that were really frustrating, because frustrated people are the best problem solvers. And I realized that after reading this article, I'm like, wait a second, not only is this a good topic for an IGTV Live, but it applies to every one of us. Because part of the human condition is learning how to navigate through our own frustrations, through our own obstacles, through our own life challenges, and being a champion of ourselves first in order to see those frustrations as the universe is saying, okay, take a step back. What are possible solutions? Even if I'm unemployed, even if I can't pay my rent, even if all these things are happening, it feels so heavy. The frustration I'm having with my current environment, my current situation, if I look at my frustration as, okay, I can go down that one road of self-destruction, nah, that doesn't lead anywhere. It leads to more expenses down the road. It leads to, to putting family and friends and people that care about you through deeper hardship, as well as yourself. It's a long journey. Or looking at frustration as, okay, how can I be the best problem solver for myself? You might have a terrible illness right now. You might have an autoimmune disorder. I don't know. You might be one paycheck away from bankruptcy. That's heavy stuff. That's not easy. That's difficult. That's frustrating. Really frustrating. But you can spend the time in that space of uncertainty, in that space of fear, in that space of frustration, diving into the toxic pool of self-destruction, self-medication, pick your drug, pick your addiction, and the pressure to be perfect. Imperfection is the birthplace to creative problem solving. You are right. You're gonna do really well in grad school. Yes, you are. That's brilliant. And so our own frustration with our current situation, and give you my example of going through a terrible divorce. I mean, and I look at it, I'm grateful that I had the experience, and I'm not sugarcoating any of this shit. Hey, Prod Senior, I'm not sugarcoating shit. This is hard stuff. But I realized I had two choices. And I remember once I got the divorce decree and everything was said and done, and I'm sitting in my new place. Thankfully, I am grateful that I have the resources to move on. And just sitting alone, sitting on my couch, and I remember that day, it was a little over a year and a half ago, and I'm saying, fuck. I signed up for this marriage, and all I get is this piece of paper at the end of it, because it didn't work out, saying the marriage is dissolved. The marriage is over. What's next? Fuck. I got all these finances, expenses. Fuck. I got all this debt. Fuck. I'm fucking, I'm saying the word fuck over and over again, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to feel bad anymore. I don't want to feel like I'm a victim of. I mean, I can play the blame game, and we can all blame our spouse, blame our ex-partners, blame our health, play the blame game and get nowhere. Or you can be your own self-advocate and see these frustrations as the clear wisdom. As hard as that is, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this shit. This is not, sanctimonious nonsense. This is the truth. What is the universe telling you? What messages are you getting? If you really cut out the negativity and the noise going on in your head because you're scared and you're fearful, what are they telling you right now? What is the frustration telling you right now? How can you tap into your frustration and see, okay, I'm going to always have problems. Hopefully they're good problems, like I have too much work, or I have too many my social calendar's filled up too much, or I have too many great things happening in my life. So I want you to think for a second. If I can look at my frustrations as, what is my next step? I have these bills. I have all these things coming up, and I don't know what my solution is at the time. I don't know what the resolution is at this current moment. But then you take a step back, and then you look back to say, okay, how did I deal with difficult times before? How did I deal with frustrations before? How was I a really good problem solver in the past? Because if you're over 21, odds are you've dealt with heartache, you've dealt with death in the family, you've dealt with financial issues, you've dealt with health issues. You see where I'm going with this? So in my own life, I was sitting on my couch with the divorce decree. I'm looking at it. I'm feeling really sorry for myself. I'm looking at it like, shit, what's next? I'm in a beautiful small town, far away from my family. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a book. And I'm going to get on social media and empower others. And I'm going to spread my message to everyone that wants to hear it. And I'm going to be a better son. I'm going to be a better son. I'm going to be a better brother to my sister. I'm going to be a better uncle. I'm going to fucking take care of myself first. I'm going to do some self-care and some self-reflection. I'm not saying you have to go to, I didn't go to India or, join a personal empowerment movement, and that's great if that works for you. There's some great leadership programs and some great classes you can take. But you don't need that. A coach is great. A coach is helpful. I have plenty of clients that are, that are frustrated with their life, and that's why they seek answers and some help from someone like myself. And as I'm looking at the divorce decree, I'm saying, okay, that's going to take a lot of effort. I'm frustrated with where I am, although I am here for a reason. And I took the pressure off myself to be perfect. I took the pressure off myself to say fuck you to the world and follow the typical path that everyone else does. And I took the opportunity. Thankfully, I'm grateful that I have the resources. And those of you that don't, you still can do this. In that space between frustration and moving forward through life, you do have 10 minutes a day. You do have 15 minutes a day before you go to sleep to write down a frustration inventory, and that's what I recommend you doing. Why am I frustrated? Well, these things are not working well for me. Okay. Do I want to have a life full of meaning and a life full of purpose? Yeah. Do I want to be the best family member, the best friend, the best person I can be and be of service to my community and everything else? And if all those things ring true for you, yes, okay. There's where the frustration, feeling frustrated, works into your advantage. So I hope this has resonated with all of you, and you kind of can get a taste of how I work with my clients and no nonsense. If you're interested in working with me, you can go to my website. It's www.solutionist180.com. You can DM me also on Instagram. And I'm grateful that you guys are here. Hopefully this has been helpful. Basilja, congratulations again on getting into grad school. It's going to be a fun, but a good frustrating journey. You know, I was listening, and before we end, I was listening to, you ever heard a guy named Mark Manson? Mark Manson is this, he wrote a book called, I think it was Unfuck Yourself or Stop Fucking Yourself Over. Head fuck in one of the books. There was an expletive in one of the books. A guy is a millennial, he's probably in his mid to late 30s, and he said something really witty, and he said that since human beings are always going to have frustrations, it's always good to have good frustrations. And since human beings are always going to have problems, it's always good to have good problems. So if you look at your problems, yeah, there might be, you can label it as bad all day long. You can scream and yell, and you can jump up and down, and you can be, you know, play the victim game and go crazy. But that's not going to solve your problems. That's just going to give you more grief. And if you want to live a full life, a life that you deserve, look at those frustrations as that jumping off point for the next step in your life. Even if it's debt, even if it's, hey, transformation salon, even if it's debt, even if it's dealing with a loss. Because at the end of the day, none of us are really alone. You might feel alone. At that moment when I was sitting on the couch with my divorce paperwork, I felt pretty alone. But I realized, you know, that's my glitchy brain. That's looking at my frustration from the wrong angle. I got a clean slate. I was very lucky to start over. And some great things happened. I met an amazing partner. I wrote a book. It's coming out next couple months about my things that happened in my life 15 years ago, and how I was able to transcend that the trauma from it. Things are moving forward for me. So you can do it too. Whether you live in a Shacktone shack or in a mansion in Bel Air. And I'm not sugarcoating shit. I'm not, you know, this is fucking tough stuff. Being human, being alive is not easy sometimes, right? So when you have frustrations, hope that they're good frustrations. When you have problems, thank you. When you have problems, hope that they're good problems, because they're always going to be there. It's all how you look at it. If you look at your problems and you attach and you give that energy to your problems, and you give those problems life. Now, I'm not saying ignore your problems. Hey, Marco Bucks, I'm not saying turning, you know, a blind eye to your problems. I'm saying is you look at your problems as I'm a victim because of this. I'm a victim to my situation. Then you're feeding the monkeys up here. You're feeding the negativity up here. You're giving more life to your problems than they currently are. If you're in debt, well, welcome to the world. If you have a mortgage, you're in debt. Okay? If you have car payments, you're in debt. Welcome to the world. You're not a victim. You're not a loser. If you're divorced, welcome to the world. If you have an ailment that's awful, well, welcome to the human condition, but you're still alive. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, hope that they're good problems. When you're feeling frustrated with where you are, you didn't get enough sleep the night before, well, that's a great frustration. That means you're doing something. If you didn't get a good night's sleep the night before because you were working hard, or you're taking care of your kids, or you're planning your next big venture, fuck. You're doing it right. But to you know, this society we live in, and I'm not poo-pooing society, it's all how you look at your, you know, it's your perception of where you're living right now, or who you're living with, and what your situation is. It's all perception. I'm not taking the gravity away from if you're dealing with some major issues, some major tumult, some you know, that's scary. But if you're listening to me right now, you're pretty damn lucky to be alive, and to have problems, and to have frustrations. So look at these frustrations as the gateway to possible solutions, and not as a handicap. Oh, and again, I'm sure like there are 1,000 billion transformational coaches and life coaches. I mean, life coaches grow on trees here in Southern California. Everyone's a freaking life coach. You know, you can look up a fucking YouTube video on this stuff. But what I'm telling you is that I believe in y'all, and I think that if you look at your frustrations from a different angle, you're one step ahead of the shotgun. And if you need to take a frustration inventory, if you're so overwhelmed, just take a piece of paper. Why am I frustrated? Okay. Freaking my car. The alternator won't work. Freaking my left passenger tire is flat. My kid has got the flu. I'm over, you know, I missed a credit card payment. I mean, fine. But those are good frustrations. You're alive. You know, every day above ground is a good day, right? If you can look beyond what's on your credit card statement and look beyond what's in your bank balance. And again, we all need to eat. We all need to have shelter. We all need to have clothing, and we all need to have health, most importantly. I'm not saying this shit is easy, but clear out the cobwebs with the frustrations. Oh, thank you. If you can do that and just step by step, attack one problem at a time. Look, the world's not going to come to an end if you default on your credit card payment. The world's not going to come to an end if you miss a mortgage payment. I guarantee you. Yeah, you're going to piss the bank off. It might fuck up with your credit rating. Okay. How many people do you know that have been bankrupt 4 times? Frustrated people. They're probably really frustrated, but they're the best problem solvers. I have a family member who's been bankrupt 4 times. And now he's worth millions. He thought he was going to have to live in his Volkswagen bus. His 1987 Westphalia. I mean, hey Valdemir, hey Saint, how are you, man? Thank you. I mean, come on now. Get some perspective. There's A, frustration, and B, frustration. A, frustration is the self-destructive path where you're running with where you're just running wild with your own craziness and letting it destroy you. Option B is the way to go, is to see your frustrations is the gateway to what your next step is. It is the gateway to finding out step by step, second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, what these solutions can and are to your problems. You know? And if you are healthy, but you got debt and you got all these other things and you got sick kids, you know what? It's great to have your health. That's a good thing. And all the other stuff, they're good frustrations. People are going to break up with you. People are going to leave you. People are going to hurt you. People are going to do these things. It's called it being human. I mean, if none of us took a chance in relationships, hey, art of attracting, if none of us took a chance in relationships, none of us took a chance in our businesses, and none of us took a chance in going to grad school, right? Society as we know it, we'd still be like, you know, the cave, was it the monkeys? The apes? Remember in 2001 with the beginning 10 minutes of the movie and Zarathustra's theme is playing in the background and it's this monolith and they're just throwing freaking bones at each other? That's so if you're frustrated, that's a good thing. Don't fuck yourself over by going down the self-destructive path where frustration leads to depression and frustration leads to you know, you lose your shit. Because if you're here right now on this feed, you have a lot to be grateful for. Not to make you feel guilty or anything. So, anyways, have a wonderful week, everybody. Don't give up. I'll see you next week. We're going to do another IGTV Live. If you have any suggestions, yeah, and it hurts, and it's scary. I've failed many times. My legal situation 15 years ago was a motherfucker. Holy cow. I never thought I would survive it. You want to talk about frustration. But I was you know, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call who your higher power is, the reason why I'm here. So think about it. Hope this has been helpful. If you are interested in my work, you can go to my website and we can set up a 10 to 15 minute discovery call. The first call is usually free, and then you can see my rates on my website and my packages. Have a great week, everybody. Don't give up, and I will see you next week.